Now on CoastTV News.
Demolition project, an explosive approach to removing some of the steel that has the ship, the Dolly, trapped.
A proposed lodging tax in Lewes coming back onto the city council agenda. What business owners have to say about having to pay more money.
Round and round, a new delay is pushing back the timeline on the 5 Points roundabout. And a Holocaust memorial vandalized at the University of Delaware, the charges that one student's now facing.
Ironically, we're expecting showers and sunshine in our immediate future. I'll pinpoint which will hit you first.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Lewes City Council pushing forward with a proposed lodging tax for hotels. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight by breaking down a lodging tax that has now reached the public hearing phase. Hotels in the city of Lewes are facing a new expense to run their businesses. The city is looking to start charging a lodging tax. Now that could go all the way up to 3%. Coast TV's Charles Reinert shows us why some business owners say it's a bit too much.
Checking into a tax increase.
It could deter some people.
Lewes City Council have decided to push a controversial lodging tax forward to a public hearing. This lodging tax would go up to 3% for owners of hotels, motels, and bed and breakfasts. Rick Quill, owner of the Blue Water House, doesn't want to have to charge his customers more.
And again, we don't have a business that's 365 days a year. And I think we're all conscious enough to be grateful for the great guests we get. And our responsibility to them is to try to keep their expenses as low as possible.
Hotels already pay the state of Delaware 8% in hospitality tax, and this extra charge would bring Lewes in line with other beach towns like Rehoboth Beach. But Quill worries it might keep some people from visiting the first town.
I couldn't project that it would, because 1 or 2 or 3% is not going to break the budget. But it could be a factor in some people's desire to come visit us.
The hotel tax is not the only price increase being kicked around. Short-term rental owners' gross receipts rental tax may also go up from 5% to 6%. City Council scheduled a public hearing for both of these increases on July 1st.
We just want to reiterate that there was nothing finalized tonight, and there is still a lot more discussion to be had before we can reach the finish line on this proposed lodging tax. I'm Charles Reinert in Lewes, Coast TV News.
Staying in Lewes at this same council meeting, the Lewes Public Library is moving forward with a new pavilion. You can see the renderings of the new addition to the library here. According to the library, the purpose of the pavilion would be for library programs and events, but also availability for community and private events. City Council reviewed the plans at their meeting tonight and will allow the library to move forward with the project. The library has received all the necessary approvals from various city and state agencies to break ground. New tonight, multiple puffs of smoke and what sounded like fireworks. The work to remove the Baltimore Bridge that collapsed on a cargo ship continues today with explosives. The tangled mess of metal that has sat atop the Dolly cargo ship since late March. And listen to this, the whole time, the ship's workers have remained on board. Meredith Wood has the details on day one of demolition.
Sitting stagnant for nearly 7 weeks, demolition is now underway to free the 213 million pound Dolly cargo ship from underneath the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge.
There's a tremendous amount of steel that was removed from the Dolly.
The ship veered off course and struck a pillar on the bridge, plunging it into the river on March 26th. 6 construction workers died. The final victim was recovered from the water just last week.
Please know that we will do everything in our power to honor those that you've lost.
Despite the demolition process, including controlled explosions, the 21 members of the ship's crew who have not left the vessel since it struck the bridge will remain on board during the operation.
We've gotten to this point without a single injury. We plan on continuing this mission without a single injury.
Officials say the demo process to free the ship will be swift.
We will refloat the Dolly and remove the Dolly in approximately 2 days.
Also in 2 days, the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee is set to hold a hearing reviewing and examining the federal response to the collapse.
Those who need to be held responsible for this tragedy will be held responsible.
The NTSB has not yet released its preliminary report into the incident, which typically comes about a month after the investigation begins. I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Officials say efforts are on track to fully reopen the Deep Draft Channel by the end of the month. In Maryland, the primary elections set for tomorrow, they are drawing a lot of attention with numerous local and statewide races left on the ballot. This includes the highly contested Senate race to replace Senator Ben Cardin. Prominent Democratic candidates Angela Alsobrooks and David Trone, along with former Republican Governor Larry Hogan, are among the leading contenders. On the Republican side, a strong lineup of candidates is prepared to challenge in a state that's traditionally dominated by Democrats. Voters can cast their ballots between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Further information is actually available right now on our website, CoastTV.com. Let's take a live look outside into the Ocean City area. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joining us now. Paul, you said sunshine and rain.
Yeah, we're going to get a touch of both now. And we're going to start off with cloud cover, rain, and then we'll follow it up with some sunshine because we're clear for right now till we get to, let's say, midnight. We'll see a few clouds and we'll hover right around the 60-degree mark, generally speaking. This morning, we start off at 41 degrees in Salisbury, as well as Georgetown 42 for the starting point in Ocean City. We're looking pretty clear, and with the exception right along the Chesapeake Bay area where we still have an active small craft advisory. Basically, we're watching out for like 20 to 25 mile per hour winds. Aside from that, tomorrow's going to be a tranquil day, but a cloudy day, and then we're going to watch out for some renegade sprinkles or late rain showers. You see, we start off cloudy, temperatures in the 50s. We click over to the 60s pretty quickly, and then 74 degrees by noon, and then we'll stay in the 70s for the rest of the afternoon. But we'll see limited, if any, sunshine for tomorrow. Then we have rain on Wednesday. Then we start talking about a little bit of sunshine. We'll have more on your full forecast coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. In traffic news this evening, if you were anxiously awaiting for the new roundabout near 5 Points to be fully operational, we've got some bad news for you. There's going to be a slight delay. It was scheduled to open on Wednesday of this week, but all the rainy weather in the forecast that Paul was just talking about, well, it's going to push things back just a bit. It's not going to be a big delay. DelDOT tells Coast TV that they still plan to have it open before the end of the week. We will be keeping an eye on that, and we will update you with any new information. Speaking of traffic, get ready to slow down in OC. A special event zone is back. According to the town, the special event zone is for the 33rd annual Cruisin' Ocean City event. The event features over 3,000 hot rods, customs, classics, and trucks. The special event zone will be in effect from tomorrow all the way through the 19th. Now, during that week, all speed limits in town, they're reduced to 30 miles per hour. Fines are increased. Police could arrest violators for reckless driving. The Cruisin' OC event will take place on Thursday and go through Sunday. In health news, it took a little negotiating, but Delaware legislative leaders and Governor John Carney have reached an agreement with Delaware's largest hospitals on House Bill 350. For a bit of context, HB 350 requires hospitals to submit annual budgets to a cost review board, and hospitals did not like that. But an amendment has been added to the bill that will add a flexible price index, and it's going to define the role of that review board. With that in hand, the Delaware Healthcare Association has removed their objectives. They're now neutral on the bill, which is expected to get a Senate vote on Wednesday and could get a House vote as soon as the following Thursday. Governor Carney says he will sign it if it passes.
I'm Mallory Metzner. Here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. A University of Delaware student is facing 3 misdemeanor charges, including hate crime. The Delaware Department of Justice says 23-year-old Jenna Candile confessed to damaging several flags at a Holocaust memorial on the UD Green and made offensive statements about the Jewish community. The Assateague Island National Seashore says wild crab apples are blooming on the Dunes Trail, but leave the rare plant for the wildlife. Salisbury is cutting the ribbon to a new park on Friday. Unity Square will have a splash fountain, a picnic area, and room for major events like the Maryland Folk Festival. And that's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Mallory Metzner.
The Ocean Pines Association has strict rules when it comes to what property owners can put in their own yard. Teachers and parents around Worcester County have put up signs on their lawns hoping to build support for public school budgets. But the Ocean Pines Association, again, they have a list of rules and regulations for what can and cannot be displayed on people's properties. And if you want to post a sign, even in your own yard, it actually requires written permission from the Architectural Review Committee. None of these signs that we've shown you here have gotten that approval. In fact, one Worcester County teacher in Ocean City had to take hers down, but she continues to show her support.
We're continuing to try to impress upon the commissioners that, this is really important for the schools to stay great.
Some teachers and parents hope they can make a change before the Worcester County budget is final. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how important is visible community support for public education? And these numbers have moved around tonight, so let's take a look at where they are right now from earlier. A lot of people are saying they're actually irrelevant. 46% say that. 39%, we just saw a change. 40% say very important. The rest are running in third and fourth. You can go vote right now if you'd like to on CoastTV.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. Michael Cohen, the one-time lawyer and fixer for former President Trump, is testifying. He started today in his ex-boss's New York hush money trial. Cohen is the key witness for the prosecution and is expected to connect many of the dots in the case. Prosecutors say Trump falsified business records to pay $130,000 to Cohen for paying former adult star Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about an alleged affair. Cohen claims he was following his boss's orders. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
The first criminal trial of former President Trump reaching a crescendo today with testimony from the prosecution's central witness, ex-Trump attorney Michael Cohen. Cohen, once Mr. Trump's fixer and fierce defender, now the linchpin in the prosecution's case, laying out how he says that at Trump's direction and for his benefit, Cohen paid former adult film star Stormy Daniels to stay silent about an alleged affair with Mr. Trump, all claims the former president denies.
I'm innocent. This is a political witch hunt.
Cohen testified that Mr. Trump was very concerned about the impact the Stormy Daniels story would have with voters just weeks before the 2016 election and on the heels of the infamous Access Hollywood tape. Cohen saying that Trump told him, quote, just take care of it, and that the former president said, quote, women will hate me, guys will think it's cool, but this is going to be a disaster for the campaign.
Michael Cohen is the first witness who really is able to put Donald Trump in the room over and over again.
But Michael Cohen is also a problematic witness. He was convicted for campaign finance violations and lying to Congress and served time for federal charges related to the Daniels payments. The Trump legal team argues Cohen is obsessed with retribution against his former boss and cannot be believed. His testimony, though, backed by evidence documenting how former President Trump paid Cohen back with invoices and checks labeled legal expenses.
We paid a lawyer a legal expense.
Prosecutors say those were actually hush money payments, an alleged cover-up they say amounts to the crime of falsifying business records. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Michael Cohen is expected to be on the stand for several days, but the defense cross-examination is sure to be blistering. The prosecution, meanwhile, says it could wrap up its case by the end of this week and then hand things over to the defense. We have a lot more to get into this evening. Still to come, expanding public assistance, how a change to Social Security could help keep people from falling through the cracks. And also protecting our beaches. A new $30 million cash infusion should help Delaware keep its bay beaches from disappearing.
And here's a look at your bay forecast. We're looking for scattered showers to kick in on Wednesday and Thursday for Cambridge, Wednesday and Thursday for Crisfield, but we may catch some renegade scattered showers as early as tomorrow. Your full forecast will be back in just 60 seconds.
The day of the bridge collapse, my phone just started ringing. The ship struck the bridge. The Dolly was the last ship I was on. It was a punch in the gut. Losing lives is a tragedy, but losing our livelihoods was a disaster. It was a direct hit to longshoremen because if we don't have vessels, we do not have work. Your pay just stopped overnight. We're in trouble. I saw David Trone on the news.
We got to bring these dollars home.
Yes.
And we got to make sure that union labor builds this bridge. We got to keep thinking about those that have lost wages.
That's right.
Longshoremen are small businessmen. They still got mortgages to meet, food to put on the table. So we need an effort not to let that slip through the cracks.
1000%. To have an advocate speaking loud and speaking proud is David Trone for me.
I'm David Trone, and I approve this message.
We are bracing for a round of rain that will probably kick off on Tuesday afternoon, definitely for Wednesday, and perhaps leaning into early Thursday before we finally catch a break with some sunshine. Our tidal health camera in Seaford with the traffic going without a problem there. 58 degrees with the winds out of the north and staying calm. And we're going to stay in the mid to upper 50s for the rest of the night, but we will increase in cloud cover. You'll notice the clouds get thicker as we go down the timeline here as we get ready for, bracing for rain for the next couple of days in a row. 58 degrees right now in Rehoboth. We're at 57 in Milton, Lewes, Greenwood, and in Redden. Small craft advisory still active until 6 o'clock in the morning for Tuesday for places like Castle Haven, Madison, Thomas, as well as Cambridge, bracing for like 25-mile-per-hour winds. And that's also a concern for us near Chrisfield, Westover, Tendier, as well as over towards Bloxham. But outside of that, we're staying pretty calm. We have high pressure that's in control of our weather, that's out in water, and the clockwise rotation will continue to keep that flow of air coming out of the south. Now, we start off Tuesday morning with our most recent run with our models. Cloudy skies for us for early in the morning. A couple of sprinkles by 9 o'clock, particularly just south of Highway 13 and 113. Then we see sprinkles on Lewes, more steady showers over towards Seaford at about 5:30. Now, as we go into 7:30 into the evening hours and for Tuesday, we're looking for more steadfast and steady showers likely in our area as a result of those scattered showers pushing through. And we'll have moisture that'll be pumping in from the south, courtesy of a low pressure system that's going to start to our south and work its way north. With that in mind, here we go. Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, we have a line of strong storms in Newark going up towards Berlin. It's going from the south to the north. You see how it's lifting to the north here? Going into Wednesday afternoon and going into Thursday. Now, the most northern portion of our viewing area, 7 to 30, right? We see the rain move once again towards the north and staying in the 50s with the temperatures. And then as we go into Thursday, the winds will be cutting out of the northeast. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast, calling for at least a yellow alert day for Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to be a steady type of a rain situation. Winds picking up a little bit, about maybe 25 to 30 miles per hour, not quite reaching that red zone, so to speak. And we may have some lingering showers afterwards. Saturday, we could see some additional scattered showers, but we'll eventually see some sunshine eventually.
Thank you, Paul. I'm just going to keep holding out for eventually. Senator Tom Carper was in Slaughter Beach today to announce $32 million in funding that's meant to protect Delaware Bay beaches. If you've spent much time out there, you've probably noticed that the Delaware Bay beaches, they've become extremely thin and they're turning vulnerable to the impacts of rising seas and coastal storms. This funding will be vital in helping protect the Delaware Bay beaches from the continued impacts of climate change.
Funding will go toward restoring some almost 30 miles of beach and dunes. And what do those beach and dunes do? As you know, they help protect our communities along the bay. I want to say from like Pickering all the way down to Lewes.
The plan is to use this funding in part to widen the beaches, but also, listen to this, to lessen the slope of the beaches. And the goal there is those combined steps would help reduce the impact of the waves from coastal storms. Coming up next, fighting to keep fares hidden. Airlines claim that having to tell you about all the ways they charge you could complicate the ticketing process.
Make dinner good tonight with Hardee's new tender platters. Crunchy, juicy chicken dipped in buttermilk and hand-breaded, served with garlic toast, fries, slaw, and an ice-cold drink. Delicious, down to the very last crumb. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
The best of the best pre-owned vehicles are at IGBurton.com, Delmarva's pre-owned headquarters. We sell only the best of the best, cars, trucks, and SUVs. And IG Burton will pay you top dollar for your trade-in, no matter what you drive. Shop the best of the best pre-owned vehicles right now at IGBurton.com. From vehicles under $10,000 to vehicles over $100,000. You'll find what you're looking for at IGBurton.com. Nobody beats a Burton deal on pre-owned. Nobody.
Every day, Washington politicians let the border crisis continue and do nothing. They fail the American people. Open border Democrats and status quo Republicans are both to blame. We need common sense leaders with the guts to get it done.
Typical D.C. politicians play politics instead of solving the problem. As governor, we fought sanctuary cities. Enough is enough. Secure the border immediately. I'm Larry Hogan, and I approve this message. In the Senate, I'll fight to keep our communities safe.
I had a pain in my armpit. I found a very large lump.
When we got the call back that it seems to be breast cancer, everything kind of crumbled.
And you're young and you have a family and you don't know if you're gonna live, you don't know, you don't know anything.
She was one of the patients where we could take cutting-edge science and turn right around and apply it to our clinic the very next day.
Bay Health is unmatched, I believe. I can't thank them enough, they saved my life.
Now at Hardee's, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Choose your favorite flavors for endless combinations. 2 wraps, just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Get exclusive offers on the Hardee's app.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
If you spend much time up in the friendly skies, well, this next story might just pique your interest. A number of major airlines are taking legal action against the federal government. A lawsuit from the carriers and industry lobby, Airlines for America, claims that the Department of Transportation exceeded its authority with a rule that requires airlines to disclose all of its fees. The airlines involved in the suit are Alaska, American, Delta, Hawaiian, JetBlue, and United. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the rule changes benefit consumers overall. The agency estimates that travelers would save $500 million annually, but Airlines for America in a statement say the new DOT rule change would complicate the ticket buying process. In other financial news, more people will soon qualify to apply for Social Security thanks to a new rule that expands the definition of a public assistance household. Starting September 13th, a public assistance household will include those receiving SNAP payments. It'll also include households with at least one SSI recipient and at least one other household member who receives public income maintenance. Officials say the expanded definition will not only help more people qualify, but it will also increase payment amounts for some SSI recipients, as well as reduce reporting burdens for people that live in public assistance households. Coming up in sports, regulation could not hold this softball battle. The highlights from a must-see contest from our DSN crew, and also Olympic pets. The best athlete in the world, they all have some furry friends they can rely on.
And you can rely on the cloud cover staying a bit on the thick side on the golf course for tomorrow. Listen, it's going to stay cloudy, and it's going to be fair, best case scenario, cloudy, but mild. And if you get out in the morning time, you'll be okay. The afternoon, no guarantees of a dry course.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
Make no mistake, America is being invaded. Biden's open border is flooding our cities with violent criminals and deadly drugs. Democrats put American families last, kicking our kids out of school to house illegals. The invasion must end. I'm Robin Ficker, and I approve this message. I'm running for Senate to secure the border. I'll stand with Trump, finish the wall, and deport criminal illegals to save our country.
The Subaru car has been an awesome change. It is definitely something that's reliable, safe. Gateway Subaru had what I was looking for. The dealership was just wonderful to deal with. Gateway really nailed it and you didn't feel pressured. They were more compassionate, willing to work with you. So Gateway provided me with the cross-check that I needed and I'm very comfortable with. Walked out with the keys in the car the same day and it's been running beautifully. And I love my Subaru.
Welcome to Beach Barrels. No matter where you're from, you're always a local at Beach Barrels in North Ocean City. Enjoy great times and great vibes at our unique bar. Try our award-winning Primo Hoagies that are made fresh to order. Cheer on your favorite sports team on our numerous big screens. Our live music scene is out of this world, hosting the area's best local and regional acts. Come in, grab a seat, or enjoy our brand new outside deck featuring beautiful palm trees, comfy seating with a tropical vibe. We're open every day from 10 a.m. till 2 a.m. See you at Beach Barrels, 133rd and Coastal Highway.
Trucks cost less with Preston during the Memorial Day sales event right here at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. From now until June 3rd, you could save over $11,000 off MSRP on a Tradesman Ram 2500. Shop hundreds of Rams on MillsboroCDJR.com and see why we say trucks cost less with Preston. So don't miss the Memorial Day sales event right here at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Trucks cost less with Preston.
Storm season is here. Be prepared and follow these tips from Delaware Electric Cooperative. Make sure you and your family have a safe place to go in the event of a tornado or severe storm. Have an emergency kit stocked with enough food, water, and essentials for at least 3 days. And don't forget a flashlight, batteries, and weather radio. Finally, download the DEC Connect app on your mobile device to quickly report an outage. Weather can be unpredictable, but you can be prepared. Make sure you're ready when storms strike.
From pugs to parakeets, if Mallory was here, she'd say cats. Olympic athletes, they love their pets, whether it's a guide dog for a Paralympian or maybe even a smelly turtle for a BMX rider. As we get closer to the Paris Games, there are some adorable fans waiting for these world-class athletes to get back home.
Thing Mauve is an Olympic champion!
Thing, anytime you're ready, just say whatever's on your mind and clack that little board there.
I love pugs.
We have 2 dogs, Ellie and Winnie. I'm not saying it's like having a kid, but I'm a dog dad.
I got 4 dogs. Too many. I have a cat. Her name is Luna, and she's awesome. I try to give her cat treats, doesn't like it. Doesn't like catnip, but the one thing she loves is popcorn, so I don't know what's going on there.
And then I have a cat.
Goose is a little golden doodle, and I love that he's a golden doodle because golden. I love the color gold.
And then I have a turtle. Nothing good about the turtle. Its name's Lily. It stinks.
A gold medal for Lee Kiefer and the United States.
My pet is a tarantula named Caetano. She looks like this.
Chanel and Versace. Those are my puppies. Yes, they have bougie names because your girl is very bougie. Versace, he's very unique. And when I think of the designer brand, it's very different. And then Chanel, she's very, you know, like Chanel number 5, Chanel number 4, like that's just how she is.
This is Mahi, my guide dog. She's only working when she has her harness on. And so when she's at home, I take her harness off and she's just like any other pet dog. Oh, lots of belly rubs. That's her favorite thing.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
At the high school level, the length of a softball game is 7 innings. But today for Delmarva Christian and Delmar, the rules did not apply. They needed double-digit innings to wrap up a classic in Georgetown. We start in the 7th. Delmar down 1, down to their final strike. Emily Smith grounder to short is thrown high. This brings in the tying run for the Wildcats, and it is 4-4. Bottom 7, winning run at 3rd for the Royals with 2 outs. Slow chopper to 2nd. Check out this play by Avery Noggle. Beats the base runner to 2nd by a step to send us to extras. On to the 10th. Now 5-4 Delmar. Cadence Melvin adds some insurance. A 2-run double that sneaks inside the left field line makes it a 7-4 game, but the Royals would not go down quietly. 7-5 bottom of the inning. 1 out runner at 3rd. Eve Bohinski launches a missile over the fence. A game-tying 2-run homer makes it 7-7. On to the 11th. 2 on, 1 out for Macy Rickards. and she smokes one into right center field. The go-ahead RBI single makes it 8-7. Del Mar, a huge swing. Bottom 11, same score, 2 on 2 outs for DC, and Rickards forces a pop out on her 152nd pitch. Del Mar wins the marathon 8-7 in 11 innings. 15 Ks for the 11 innings pitch for Rickards. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Gotta love a game like that. Coming up next, always learning. This recent grad is flipping expectations upside down, and we're gonna tell you how.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
Shop the Memorial Day mattress sale at Johnny Janasic and find premium mattresses starting at just $29 a month. Plus, get 0% APR for 60 months, a $300 gift card, and free local delivery. Going on now at Johnny Janasic.
Social Security and Medicare aren't just handed to us.
We've earned them. Hour by hour. Day by day.
Paycheck by paycheck.
They aren't plans. They're a promise.
Made to every American.
Every American.
And we're not going to let anyone
break it.
Break it.
Break it.
Neither will I.
And you can consider that a promise too. David Trone will stand up to Republicans looking to strip the safety net seniors depend on. And there's no backing down.
I'm David Trone, and I approve this message.
At Coastal Comfort, we know there's no place like home. That's why we're committed to ensuring total comfort for a totally happy home. As a premier Carrier factory authorized dealer, we're dedicated to providing reliable service and the best savings. Like now, through the end of May, with purchase of a qualified Carrier system, you can instantly receive up to $1,900 off. You could also qualify for up to $2,000 in federal tax credit. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
The Memorial Day sales event is here. With more inventory, more savings, and more reasons to buy. Get a great deal on Bronco Sport, Explorer, and Escape. There's more to love and more ways to save during the Memorial Day sales event. But hurry, it all ends June 3rd. Now get 0% for 60 months on select Ford SUVs, plus a complimentary limited maintenance plan, only at your local Ford dealer.
On Coast Life, discover local wellness at the upcoming health fair this Saturday and learn how your blood donation could win you a brew. Plus, we unravel the proper way to eat French fries in our great debate. Coast Life, tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
Get the Coast TV First Alert Weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free Coast TV First Alert Weather app, sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
Shop the Memorial Day mattress sale at Johnny Janasic and find premium mattresses starting at just $29 a month. Plus, get 0% APR for 60 months, a $300 gift card, and free local delivery. Going on now at Johnny Janasic.
I'm always a sucker for these kind of stories proving that education is important at every age. An 83-year-old graduate is now Howard University's oldest student to ever earn a degree. Marie Fowler believes that God called her to the school's divinity program, where she now has earned her doctorate, proving you're never too old to learn a little something new.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. All right. Our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury. We're at 57 degrees right now. Winds are pushing out of the south at about 6 miles per hour, and we'll stay in the 50s. But now we will see an ever-increasing amount of moisture as we go throughout the early morning hours, as we brace ourselves for a cloudy Tuesday and perhaps even a rainy Wednesday. Paul James, congratulations, our new winner from Rehoboth Beach, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling, winning our brand new umbrella. Ocean City sponsoring our 5-day UV index. And you know what? Because we're looking for it to stay cloudy, the UV index is going to be tapped down for the next really 4 to 5 days in a row. A level of 5, medium, best case scenario. That's the lack of sunshine we'll see on a long basis. We'll get peaks every once in a while, but not a whole lot. So we're looking pretty clear for right now. We do have still very gusty winds, small craft advisory in effect for us throughout the Chesapeake Bay area. Our first alert weather line is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a phone call away. Sponsored by Baird, Mandela's, Brockstedt, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast. We have a yellow alert day on Wednesday.
Thank you very much, Paul. And thank you folks at home for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, for more local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, that's up next. And we're going to see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5. Have a great night.